ArsenalFanTV, excellent performance by the team today. Big win. They really needed that, and I was really, fearful before the start of the game. I've always thought we'd win this game, but I was like, we don't want to get to half-time, and it's like 0-0. Fans are, moaning and groaning, but they didn't. They got off to a fast start today.
Yeah, the game at Liverpool, the players spoke in that game. They weren't playing for Wenger. They downed tools. And it was interesting to come here today to see whether they would be playing for Wenger today. Well,
Were they playing for him today, did you think, in that performance?
Well, first of all, he got the team selection right. He got the wing-backs in the correct position, and he played our £52 million striker up front. So the problem we've got is, well, first of all, Bournemouth were perfect opposition for us today, Robbie. They are playing in a 3-5-1-1, trying to accommodate the foe and king in a formation that clearly leaves them vulnerable to balls that are played through on their wings. They've got wing backs who push up and leave space, and we exploited that for Kolasinac, who was outstanding. Got the cross in for the first goal for the assist for Welbeck. And I think that we had perfect opposition today, but you've got to remember that next week we're going to Chelsea. Now, I thought he might change the formation up this week and go back to 4 at the back. He persists with that 3-4-3, and when you look at that, you still look at it being uncoached.
Is it better though with Kolasinac in there? At least like you said, it's a guy that he understands the left side. It just looked more balanced. Even with Welbeck there, it looked more balanced. They were working back. There's much more work rate in the team. The
problem for me is the two holding midfielders, or the two central midfielders. Now, it's better structure and shape with Kolasinac on the left and Bellerin on the right. We're better going forward and they're better getting back. But what you've got to remember is, and you see it again today, when we're attacking, you've got our two central mids not feeding the game. Wenger gives them too much freedom. All the time Wenger allows Xhaka and Ramsey to be up the pitch. Graham Souness picked up on it perfectly the other week. And obviously if you do coaching, they talk about this red zone where your two centre mids have to defend from the 18 box up to the halfway line. They don't do that. Now, we're an on-the-ball team, Robbie. Now, when today was perfect, everybody could be on the ball, express themselves perfectly. That's what Wenger says.
But when you ain't got the ball, isn't it?
When you ain't got, well, we're terrible in transition. And I think when you go to Chelsea with a 3-4-3, if we play Xhaka and whoever in centre mid and they're pushing on all the time when we've got the ball, when we lose the ball, we're going to be struggling. The three centre-backs are going to be exposed. And I think really he should go 4 at the back. Can I just ask one question before I sign off today? 6 weeks ago, I stood here with you and I said, if Man City come in for Alexis with 60 million on the last day, would you buy or sell? Do you keep an unhappy player? And obviously you talked to DT about the reception he got today, which was mixed. Mixed. There was a few boos there, and then of course we all...
When I say mixed, I mean most people were behind him, but there were a few boos.
Now, do you keep an unhappy player? Bearing in mind he's been negotiating with Man City from January onwards, more than likely. What happened...
Well, he's here now, and he's going to have to get on with it, isn't he?
Yeah, but what's happened at Arsenal has unravelled at Liverpool last week. It's clear to me that there's players like Alexis, Ozil, Ox, who went in the end, who the players must know in that dressing room have no inclination of staying with the club. They're not buying into the project. They no longer buy into what Wenger's trying to do at this club because they want to achieve things, right? And you've got the other players in there, like your Giroud's, your Koscielny's, who are buying into it. Now, when they see these players who are not buying into it, getting in the team, being selected, that transcends itself onto the pitch. When we get into trouble on the pitch, there's no fight in the team. And I think last week was a defining moment in the history of Arsenal FC. I've supported Arsenal for 46 years, Robbie. I've never seen such a lack of spirit, lack of determination, poor performance as I saw last week. And I think Arsene Wenger has spent the last 2 months prioritising keeping these players at the club at the expense of players who do want to be at the club and play for the club. And what you've got a divide, I think, in our camp, and that's why we've had such a bad start. That is one of the reasons, and the other reason is the way Wenger tactically sets us up. He plays 3-4-3. I've no problem playing 3-4-3. I said to you at the start of the season, if he looked at that team and he got, say, Van Dijk or a tall centre half in centre mid, 3 quality centre halves, then he got a holding midfielder, a Cavalier or an Nzonzi or someone like that, alongside Xhaka, and then he put Lacazette up front, and then we had our 2 centre mids holding, as our 2 wing backs went on, killing the space, so when they break we've got 5 back to defend. I'd have no problem with that, but he doesn't do that. Players play with a lack of responsibility under Wenger, and that's what's killing us, while we'd never go to the next level. And that is key to me. Until it changes in the club, until the top of the club changes and Wenger goes, we will never, I think, compete for the reason we came to the Emirates. We left Highbury to come to the Emirates to go to that next level. Now we've got people there who just don't know how to take the plan forward. People off the pitch and on the pitch. Arsene Wenger was fantastic for the first 10 years, but tactically, if you look next week, you've got and I've said this to you 2 years ago, you've got Conte, you've got Klopp, you've got Guardiola. Tactically, what they demand of their teams off the ball in transition is beyond what Arsene Wenger ever demands of Arsenal players. And all the time, he's not demanding that of them. When we go to these big, and we don't respect the opponents, when we play away from home, you've got centre mids not feeding the game, not sort of getting back into shape. And you are right, it did look a better balance today with the two wing backs in the correct position, but we've still got the same problem with our two centre mids. We go to Chelsea next week, Conte will have them organised in their shape, and they've got players coming back now. And if we don't respect Chelsea, we get beat. And I think going forward, so I haven't asked you that. Just one quick question then. Looking back now, do you think it's right that we kept Alexis Sanchez? Do you think, knowing now, I'll just put you right on the spot, Robin, don't fudge it because you fudged it last time, right? If Sanchez, right, he knew Sanchez wants to go, it's obvious to me, I want Sanchez to stay, but had I known 2 months ago that Sanchez definitely wanted to go, had I known that Ozil was not going to sign a contract, I would have then sold him and then invested in the team.
I think if they were going to take 60 million for him on deadline day, then they should have.
Not on deadline day, Robbie. 2 months ago.
No, you said about the 60 million.
No, I'm talking about.
Yeah, so if they were going to give 60 million and it would end up that we consider it, then we should have just sold him from then and went after and got the adequate replacement. But you've got to do it early in the window, and we messed it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.